Hey, what's up guys? Chimp here, and welcome back to a brand new video. And we're back on the tier list. And, hold on, I need to make this a different color. Just a second. We'll go with that one. There you go. Anyways, this is how I think teams have been doing so far. And, of course, this could trigger some people, it could not. Now remember, this is all my opinion. This is how I think the teams have been performing. Like, let's say you're this team's fan, and I say this team isn't doing good, no reason to get upset, really. It's just, I mean, usually NFL fan bases are just pretty much understanding. Like, let's say you're a Jets fan, or a Jags fan, or a Giants fan. Three of the teams who have not had very good seasons since 2017, right? I say since 2017 because the Jags made the playoffs that year. You've not had many wins. You have to be accepting that your team isn't good right now, but it can always be good in the future. Or the team could have been good in the past. So you always have to keep that in mind. But let's get into it. And we're starting off with the Seattle Seahawks. They're doing average. Their defense is terrible. Offense is amazing, especially Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett has been pretty good actually, and I'm really liking how he's doing. DK Metcalf's obviously a beast. So overall, offense doing amazing, defense doing terrible. It's basically what we thought the Seahawks would be this year, coming into this year at least. So yeah, Seahawks definitely doing average. Colts disappointing. See, bad or disappointing. Bad means that alright, I already knew they were gonna be bad, but disappointing means that I thought this team could have been pretty good, and they're not. And Colts just blew a 19-point lead against the Ravens, which is really good for me because I'm a Ravens fan. But yeah, I mean they're disappointing. 1-4 to start off the year with Jonathan Taylor, Carson Wentz, an amazing offensive line, right? But they have dealt with injuries. Paris Campbell looked pretty good against the Ravens. I'll tell you that much. But the record speaks for itself. You cannot be 1-4 and have a really good roster on your hands. So definitely disappointing. Steelers are disappointing. Obviously, I want them to be bad, but on my unbiased self, what are they? 2-3? Hold on. I need to research this. What are the Steelers? I know I don't exactly have to. Okay, whatever. You know what? Uh, Standings. Here we go. The Steelers 2-3. Yep. Who did they win against? They have won against the Broncos. The Bills. That was just a fluke. That was just a fluke. They lost to the Bengals. Lost to the Raiders. Lost to the Packers. They lost to the Bengals, but the Bengals we'll get to in a second here. They had pretty low expectations coming into this year, especially with Joe Burrow coming off an unbelievable injury. Unbelievable meaning not very good. But yeah, they lost to that team, and then now the Bengals are actually doing good. So kudos to you, Bengals fans. I think you're finally getting what you deserve. But Steelers 2-3. We all knew that they had a terrible record, but they're at least they're gonna have a pretty poor record because their schedule was the hardest in the entire NFL coming into this year. But Big Ben Roethlisberger has been horrifyingly terrible. He has no arm left in him. Like, I've seen him, he just can't make those throws anymore. He's not that guy. Ben Roethlisberger, Steelers franchise quarterback. Obviously, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame, but regression has finally hit him. Falcons could be better. I could bump them up to average, but I think they definitely could be better. Their offensive potential is sky high. Defense definitely could be way, way better. So that's why I'm thinking could be better. 49ers are average. This is the second straight year where we're thinking that the 49ers are going to do unbelievable. The 49ers are the 49ers. They're just unreal. Great roster team. They still are, but Again, they're dealing with injuries, and their record just isn't that good, frankly. So, yeah, let's be honest. They're just doing average. I don't know if you can hear that. That's the garage door opening. So, yeah, but anyways, the 49ers are average. Jets. Whew! Jets. How are they doing? My mouse just went off to my second monitor there. They are doing bad. They are doing bad. Had to quickly pause there for a second for just any exterior noise. But, yeah, I mean, the Jets are doing bad. And Zach Wilson isn't doing his best. Definitely isn't playing his best football. So, yeah, they're definitely doing bad. And a little bit disappointing, especially Zach Wilson. He's being a slinger. He has 8 interceptions. And I think less touchdowns than Trevor Lawrence, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, Jets are definitely doing bad. Bills, I would love to do this, but obviously great, right? They're not doing surprisingly good. This is not, oh my god, the Bills were terrible last year, but this year, oh my goodness, they're the best team in football. No, not really. The Bills, though, obviously great. They've been actually doing pretty good, so I may even do surprisingly good. This should actually be surprisingly great. There we go. No, because good is worse than great, and, you know, those just contradict each other. But, yeah, the Bills are obviously great. You know, the team is doing amazing. Josh Allen is doing great. Stephon Diggs definitely could be doing better. On my fantasy team, I feel like I'm making a mistake not starting Antonio Brown or Marquise Brown for just one game over Stephon Diggs, and I want to see what can happen. But, yeah, so the Bills, obviously great. And the Cardinals, surprisingly great. 5-0, only undefeated team in the league. And I don't think it's a fluke. Why is it coming up? My taskbar should not be coming up, but 5-0, best team record, best record in football. My NFL power rankings will come in later, but yeah, they're surprisingly great. And now the reason here, and now Cardinals fans will be saying to me, why are you putting our team in surprisingly great? We have a really good team. Well, your past 2 years, both years you've had losing records, or maybe last year when you went 8-8 or something. I'm pretty sure it was like 7-9. This year you've just taken that next step and are undefeated from two straight losing records. Actually, no, 3 straight losing records, maybe even 4. I want to say 4. You're undefeated in the first 5 games. That's why it's surprisingly great. Eagles definitely could be better. They're 2-3. You know, they're doing pretty good. Jalen Hurts, however, has to be more accurate. There are times in the pocket where he just doesn't hit his man when he's wide open, and that's just something that you have to do as a generic quarterback. And I know Jalen Hurts is an exciting player. He's a really good guy, really liked player in general, and has, coming out of the draft, was considered, this guy is going to be probably a career backup with maybe 1 or 2 chances to start on another team. And he has just burnt all those expectations off, right? And has shown that he can be a true franchise guy. But I don't think he can if he keeps being really inaccurate on some throws. So definitely could be better. Saints, they could be way better. And the reason why is they're so inconsistent. You see what effect that Drew Brees had on this team. You take him out of the picture, you put in Jameis Winston, who's not even a bad player, by the way. He's actually having a pretty good year. But the Saints went from unbelievable against the Packers to lame against the Panthers. And then they came back again against whichever team, and then they got beaten by the Giants. Right? So this is like the king of inconsistency so far. So the Saints definitely could be better. Patriots could be better as well. I think we overrated their offseason a tiny bit. Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith haven't been the most impactful players. Same thing with Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne. There's the ring camera. It happens every video. You guys know the drill. But yeah, Patriots have to be better. Bill Belichick Great head coach, right? Maybe not the best with the media, but still, great head coach. Right? Has accumulated 6 Super Bowls. But what's to say that's not because of Tom Brady? Right? And now I'm just triggered Patriots fans. What? We don't need Tom Brady. I mean, we have Mac Jones. Mac Jones has the same amount of touchdowns as interceptions. Trey Lance has been inaccurate. Zach Wilson has more interceptions than touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence is struggling mightily. And Justin Fields, again, has more interceptions than touchdowns. This 2021 quarterback class, we said it was going to be unbelievable. By the way, Davis Mills has been horrific. But this 2021 quarterback class was supposed to be historic, and all it's been in the first 5 weeks of the NFL, terrible. Anyways, after that rant, Chargers surprisingly great. I mean, actually, I could put them in obviously great, but 4-1 and just beat the Browns 47-42. Have beaten the Chiefs as well. And then, who's their only loss to? I completely forgot. Was it the Broncos? I don't even remember, genuinely. So let's check it out here. I'm going to the wrong one. NFL Chargers. Who was their loss against? The Cowboys, who are actually doing really well. So that's kudos to them. The Chargers are doing surprisingly great, and they're putting up tons of points. Let me go back here just a second. 42 points allowed. Has not been that good. But look at Justin Herbert's numbers. Wow. Chargers are a better football team than the Ravens. Actually, I kind of agree. But, yeah, so interceptions, 2 for Asante Samuel Jr., really. Apparently, I haven't been paying so much attention to the league because he has 2 interceptions and 5 passes defended. Good for him. And Derwin James is obviously really good. But Justin Herbert's looking unreal. 1,500 yards, 13 touchdowns. Like, don't look at these projected numbers because these are for 16 games. But if they actually played 16 games, he's on pace to throw for 5,000 yards and 42 touchdowns. And then, of course, add in that extra game, they'll be even better. And this may sound weird to some of you Ravens fans out there. I'm a Ravens fan, but I somehow know that the Ravens may have to just try and come back in the game against the Chargers in the fourth quarter. We're gonna get to them in a second here. Actually, not in a second, a hot minute. But yeah, the Chargers surprisingly great. Put up 47 points against the Browns and just are an explosive team. Bengals are doing surprisingly great. Let's be honest. Tell me anyone who thought they were gonna come here and start off this year 3-1 and then challenge the Packers to the wire. Many people hated that game. I actually kind of liked it because Mason Crosby literally became a laughingstock on live and national television. So, yeah. Bengals surprisingly great. 3-2, and Jamar Chase is being unbelievable. T. Higgins is, of course, pretty good. Tyler Boyd's reliable. Joe Mixon has to be better, in my opinion. And then, of course, O-line's terrible, but has not been as bad as I thought. So we'll give them get that much credit. Bears are doing average. They're like 2-3 or something, or maybe even 3-2. Are we in week 5 or week 4? I'm so curious. All right, we're in week 6 right now. I'm sorry that phrase didn't make any sense. Anyways, yeah, the Bears are doing average. They're 2-3. Not amazing. Not bad. I think they're making the same mistake with Justin Fields as they did Mitch Trubisky. Some guy named Patrick Mahomes got drafted above Mitch Trubisky and sat out an entire year and then became a superstar, while Mitch Trubisky, you threw him in week 4. Sound familiar, Bears fans? Justin Fields starting in week 4. You threw Mitch Trubisky in the fire week 4, and he didn't turn out to be so great, right? And you're in the exact same situation where Andy Dalton, average veteran, Mike Glennon used to be an average veteran, now he's just trash. You're in the same exact situation, and I think you're just setting Justin Fields up for failure at this point. I hope not. I loved him at Ohio State. No matter how much he crushed my Clemson Tiger and my heart, that uh, semifinal, I'll still like him. I'll still like him. And then the Cowboys have been surprisingly great. Trayvon Diggs has like one quadrillion interceptions in one game, so he's been amazing. Their secondary, their defense in general, definitely could be better. Offense is just looking explosive. Zeke has gone from a fat potato to, again, one of the best running backs in football. And then Tony Pollard is so underrated and so reliable. And I definitely think he could be looking at a starting job on a different team. Miami, disappointing. I mean, yeah, they don't have Tua. Tua, honestly, could not have impacted this team. Just because they lost Tua doesn't mean that they should just start losing games like that as quick as my snaps right there. It's just weird, you know? They went from winning the first game, Tua gets injured, bam, I'm going to lose 4 in a row, and I'm going to become one of the worst teams in football, or at least in as record-wise. Yeah, you can't be like that. Rams, we're not talking about them. Obviously great. We saw a lot of potential for them coming into this season, and they've lived up to it. Raiders could be better, but I think their season is going to get bad and worse and even more horrific as time goes on, because even the regular Raiders would start out the year like 4-0 and then transition to finish 8-8 somehow. But John Gruden out, then things start to get a bit weird. Like, they're definitely going to lose more games, but power run aspect, just running the ball every play, because Josh Jacobs, let's be honest, weird voice crack there. Sounded like auto-tune, but way worse. But Josh Jacobs is not having a great year. I think they're overworking him, and he's, of course, is dealing with an injury. Hopefully it's okay by now, but yeah. The Raiders definitely could be better. I feel like I'm fumbling with a lot of my words, so sorry for that. The Browns are average. 3-2, and Baker Mayfield's pretty good. I'm not going to say anything more. Pretty good is fine. Just Odell Beckham Jr. and him just can't mix, right? A comparison for them is like oil and water, or North Pole to North Pole on a magnet, or south to south, right? They just don't connect. They can't mix. Odell Beckham Jr. is not a Cleveland Brown. I think he was always meant to be. Why am I moving it? There we go. I think Odell Beckham Jr. was never really meant to be a Cleveland Brown. He should have just stayed in New York. As New York, obviously they're doing bad. I mean, Daniel Jones is doing very average. Saquon Barkley's injured. Kenny Galladay's injured. Kadarius Toney just punched a guy, but had an unbelievable game last time he played. And then not CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is their rival, but the Giants just no. Their injuries are just too much for them to win. Broncos, average actually. They're definitely better than I thought they would do, but come on, right? Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock Drew Lock sucks. Teddy Bridgewater is very average. You can't expect them to be in the playoffs, right? They're 3-2. They're second in their division right now. Maybe third. Tied for second, all right? Yeah, Bucks, obviously great. Lions, bad. Jaguars, bad. I don't even want to talk about those three. That was a really easy stretch. Washington football team could be better. I've not watched much of their film. I need to go, just check it out. In fact, that's probably what I'm going to do right after this video. The rumors are that their defense sucks. So that's fun. They have the best D-line in football, right? But it's not really proving that, apparently. Vikings, they're coming so close to winning, and then they just don't. They're not losing by much, but they're not exactly putting that tough of a fight in there as well. Chiefs are disappointing, man. For now, Chiefs are disappointing. 2-3, their defense is garbage. Put in an incinerator with garbage juice poured all over it. Their defense is trash. And then they just lost to the Bills 38-20. Lost to the Ravens, right? Chargers. These are teams that you can easily lose to. But look at who they've beaten. They've beaten the Philadelphia Eagles, and that was not I don't believe that was by a huge margin, and they're actually trailing at the start of the game, and yeah, I mean, they allowed 30 points. This is terrible. They allowed 30. Okay, this is the amount of points allowed by the Chiefs defense. 29, 36, 30. You can't be allowing that many points a game. It's just not going to help your team out in general. Even though they have Tyrann Mathieu, they've been doing disappointing. Ravens average. Now, people will be wanting obviously great or surprisingly great. Do you really think that the Ravens without Lamar Jackson would be in the position that they are right now? 4-1. Do you think that Tyler Huntley could have made that throw to Sammy Watkins for 40 yards to convert on 4th and 19 to set up Justin Tucker's 66-yard field goal? Give credit to Justin Tucker all you want. I love him for that kick, but without Lamar, you're not beating the Chiefs. You're losing to you're getting crushed by the Raiders. I mean, technically, actually, no. Maybe without Lamar, the Ravens would have beat the Raiders because it was his fumble that lost them the game. But still, you're not gonna get that. You're not gonna get to beat the Chiefs and have the satisfaction of snapping a 3-loss streak over 3 seasons, right? And then what was week 4? The Broncos. The Broncos without Teddy Bridgewater, any team could have won that game. And then the previous game. Do you think that the Ravens could have, with Tyler Huntley, Trace McSorley, no matter if Trace McSorley is the GOAT or not, Tyler Huntley is not going to lead you to a 19-point comeback. It's just not going to happen. It's impossible. Lamar is carrying that team on his back right now. They're 4-1, but, injuries are just derailing them a lot right now. I'm happy that we're 4-1, but we need to be doing better as a team. But Marquise doing amazing. Mark Andrews is doing really good. And, of course, Sammy Watkins is doing pretty good as well. Carolina Panthers are average. They've lost their past 2 games. I would love to put them in surprisingly great. Darnold's definitely looked better. Had a poor game. I don't know if it was last week or before last week, but they're definitely average. Titans are average. They're dealing with A.J. Brown and Julio Jones consistently getting injured. So yeah, Texans are bad. Packers, obviously great. I'm not talking about those. I mean, there are some in here self-explanatory, like the Rams, Bucks, and Packers. There's some, I need to explain myself, like the Patriots and the Chiefs and the Ravens, right? And then, of course, the Cardinals and the Chargers and the Bengals. And then there's some weird ones in here, like the Raiders, the Titans, the football team, right? Even the Steelers could be set for a good rebound. The Dolphins could rebound with Tua coming back, but I don't know if that's going to improve so much at the quarterback position. But, yeah, thank you guys for watching. I fumbled. Wow. Oh, God, that was embarrassing. I fumbled a lot with my words in this one. I hope you enjoyed, though, and I'll see you in the next video.